y'all. I was able to watch the Arrogant Taze masterclass, and I really got a lot of tips from it that I love and I've been using on my frontals and my wigs as of late. So I just want to show you guys what I've been doing and what I've learned from him. So the first thing that I realized that he likes to do, not that I realized, that I seen he likes to do, is part out the front of the wig, which is the part that is probably already plugged. When your vendor tells you that the wig is pre-plugged, I guess they mean this little strip right here, because most wigs usually come just like that, which is why I always recommend additional plucking. This wig is from my own hairline, House of Vane. By the way, it's a 28-inch body wave wig that I had already washed, and it's transparent lace. But anywho, the details will be in the description box. But what Tay likes to do is he likes to go ahead and part that section out, and he says that he likes to do that because it'll bald out the lace too much. Like, you'll over pluck if you start plucking from the hairline of the wig as opposed to parting out the front. So then he likes to take his tweezers, as I'm doing, and he's focusing it on the thicker parts of the lace. I already plucked this section, so you can kind of already see it getting gradient and getting like a little less thin. But he does not like to do this on the exact line where he parted out from. So avoid that line. I'll explain in detail a little bit more. And I actually had my own plucking tips video that I'll link up here, where you can go see some of my tips that I drop. And that tip is similar with his. Like, do not pluck on the part. But I'll explain in detail much later. But as you can see, I'm going into the lace frontal. So just go into the lace, and you want to kind of like, thin out inside of the lace, so that when you push this hairline back, it just all looks like it's really blending and flowing together. So there's not really any specific areas in which I can tell you to pluck. Like there's not, he really plucks in random areas, but he's doing it inside, and he's getting rid of that thick straight line that you saw at first. So now when I comb it back, it doesn't look so crazy. And honestly, he just continues to doing the same thing. He parts, I know I didn't really explain it that well in the beginning because I was just talking about a whole lot of everything, but now let me explain it. He parts out the very beginning of the hairline where it's already thinned out, and then he takes his tweezer and he focuses it behind it. And I know my hand is blocking, I'm sorry, but as I'm plucking, you can kind of see the areas that are getting thin, and that's the areas that I'm pulling the hair from, and that's the areas that you really want to pull the hair from. Instead of having this straight line that looks so obvious and so wiggy and so thick, you want to go inside and get rid of that line. And that's basically what he does in his video. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people have access to this video by now, but if you have not seen it, I also do understand that somebody who is not really experienced with hair at all probably would not really like his teaching style, because he's so into his work that he's not really going in like so much detail. But then again, there's not really much to explain with certain parts of doing hair, so I don't know, I understand. But I guess this is for anybody who will be able to watch that video who still wouldn't really get it. Tay also did mention in his video that he likes to thin out the sides, making the temples of the hairline the thinnest parts of the hairline, and keeping the middle part the thickest, to resemble a natural hairline, because on a natural hairline, he says that the temples are the thinnest part, and that is actually true when I look at my own hairline. So that's why I slowed that clip down just a little bit, so you guys can really see me trying to thin out the temples as much as I can while still avoiding over plucking, because we don't want that at all, because that's how you create balding in your wigs, and that's even worse. So I'm just moving along the hairline of the wig from the sides to the temples to the top. And as I said, he does like to leave the top a little bit more full than he would any other part of the hairline, but you're still going deep into the frontal. You don't necessarily have to only focus your tweezing on the exact hairline, because if you're pulling out from the middle of the frontal, it's still like thinning out the density of the wig, which would still help it look a little bit more natural. Nobody's telling you to mutt, like, anything, but just make sure that you're paying attention to detail, and that, you know, just paying attention. And he also does like to, I'm not having this like white shirt on my knee for no reason. He likes to use a white towel on his knee. He likes to pluck on his leg instead of on a mannequin. This was my first time doing it. Well, I had did it a couple times before I filmed it, but it was my first time trying that method after I watched this video, and I do like it better than plucking on a mannequin. And just having something white under the lace does help in seeing exactly where you're plucking, and it'll be really hard to over pluck. So as you can see, I'm pushing the hair that I parted out back because that's what he does once he plucks the back to his liking, and then he goes in and he focuses on thinning out the very front of the hairline. Instead of going into doing this initially, that really does help in avoiding you creating bald spots and over plucking your wig. You're not starting at the very beginning. It's like you're starting in the middle of it. So when you push the front back now, it would be very hard to just make it look very like baldy and patchy, which you don't want. So I hope you guys can see the difference now in what's going on in the world, because I really want you guys to get it. Like, that looks so much better and it doesn't look overdone. Of course, you still have to comb your hair back. You have to push the hairline back with your hands to really see where it's still looking kind of thick, and then you have to go into that area and pluck until it looks more natural and how you like it. Okay, y'all, so I want y'all to pay very close attention to this clip. Look at this gradient effect of this hairline. Like, I live. It's a moment. Arrogant Tay taught me. I don't care what y'all talking about, right? So look at this and then look at the other side. There's a huge, huge difference. Please don't wear your frontals like this. Please don't do it ever in your life. Like, girl. But okay, this is why I explained in detail what I was talking about. You see how I parted it out because he said that's what you should do. But do not pluck from this part, because that's how people end up with the baby hair, a huge gap, and then the hairline in the back. That is not a look. It is not a moment. Don't do that. You have to pluck from inside the lace. Like, you see, I'm not starting at the very front of the part. And he stresses this as well. And I also stress this in my own plucking video. So whatever you do, just don't do that. And then I'm pretty sure you will be okay. As we did to the other side, I'm just thinning out this side, making sure that that thick straight line is disappearing, because we just don't want it. It's not a moment, like I said. But leave this video a thumbs up if you guys are understanding what's going on right now, and if you like, it's like a moment of clarity coming to you right about now. And I was also gonna say something else and I just forgot. Oh my god, I don't even remember what I was gonna say. Oh, I think I was gonna say how I feel like Arrogant Tay's plucking method is easier. I feel like it's less complicated than the way that I taught you guys to pluck. But for somebody who literally has never plucked the frontal, never don't know nothing about hair, I feel like the way that I teach you is more detailed than his method, but his method is still so easy. And it's like I feel like it complicates it less than what I taught you guys to do. But I don't know. Leave me a comment if you watched both videos. Even better if you tried both methods. And let me know what you think. And let me know if you get what I'm saying. And if you didn't watch the video, go watch it. And then let me know if you understand what I'm saying when I say that. But I love it. I live for this plucking method. The picture in my thumbnail was used. Like, I used the plucking method when I did my hair that time. And with this wig, I'm actually going to be I'm actually going to be posting me installing this wig on myself next week. So stay tuned for that video. But guys, doesn't this look so good? It looks amazing. So as we did to the other side, you push the hairline back, and then you start cleaning up the front as well wherever it looks thick. And he does like to use his hands to constantly push the hairline back. That just helps him to be able to see, I'm guessing, because that's what it helps me to do. It helps me to be able to see the hairline. Once you pluck and the hair gets bunched up and messed up, you have to smoothen it out again before you keep plucking to make sure that, okay, should I go back in this area, should I move on to another spot? It just helps. So make sure you keep a clean canvas the whole time. And I personally like to comb through the hair different ways just to see how the hair would flow if I combed it this way, if I combed it that way. And it just helps. It really helps. I really hope you guys are understanding what's going on right now, because I know it's so easy to confuse somebody like with the plucking video sometimes, but I really hope you guys can see, can visibly see what's going on. I hope that makes sense what I just said anyways. And I hope you guys really get what's going on. Like, I don't know. But as I told you guys, he does like to keep the temples of his wigs the thinnest. So as I'm moving on towards the top, you can see that it's really thin towards the top. The middle is really thick, and then right to the left of it and to the right of it is actually really thin. That's just to mimic a natural hairline. It does look actually amazing when you do that. So I would recommend that you try your best to do that without balding it out and creating no weird areas in the wig. You don't have to overdo it like that. But I am going ahead and thinning out the temples a little bit more right here. And then I'm also going to thin out the top. I'm still going to keep it thick. And he says he likes to do this because when you do a middle part, you don't want to have accidentally plucked where your middle part is going to be. And then now your middle part is a big ass bald spot. And then you really got to use like, you know, like a root touch up or some black spray or something to fix it. And why would you want a bald spot on a new wig? Your wig is going to bald over time, but you would not want your wig to be bald on your first install. So, but you still don't want the middle to be thick and lumpy and looking terrible either, if that makes sense. So I'm at the top right now, and I'm just trying to go deep into the frontal, also cleaning up the front of the hairline as well. But I like to go, well, I like to go deep into the frontal, and he tells you to go deep into the frontal as well. So I'm just making sure that, you know, I'm making this look as natural as possible. At this point, I feel like I'm dragging it. I think I'm going to let you guys watch. Okay, so as I told you guys, I don't do too much at the top, and he doesn't recommend doing too much at the top. So that pretty much sums up how you pluck like Arrogant Tay. And oh yeah, like I told you I was gonna do, I did go back to the other side and I cleaned that up a little bit more. I thinned it out a little bit further. And I did this to both sides. Look at your frontal perfected. Like he advises you to do that as well. There's nothing wrong with it. And that is pretty much how you do it. I'm also going to show you guys how much hair came out of this frontal. It's not that much, even though it looks like a lot. It's really not. Girl, your frontal is plucked if it looks like this. Okay, give this video a thumbs up. Watch out for my next video. Go binge on my old videos too, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in like y'all do. See you next time. Bye, gang.